Okay, what's up guys, and welcome back to another really quick mission editor, sort of 5-10 minute video. So basically I'm going to build up on something I done a couple of months ago, which was how to create a tanker and how to set it up into an orbit. However, we're going to build upon that slightly because there's a couple of different ways, or there's a new way that we can basically make it so the tanker comes back, rearms, refuels and takes off again. So we're going to go into that now. It just builds upon the mission, or the video we done last time. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a tanker, much like I've done before. So we're just going to select anything for now. So AC-135, however, it'll work on any tanker. We're just going to set it up, put it to, we'll call it 18,000 feet just for the time being. And we're just going to leave the speed generic. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set a couple of waypoints. So number 1 and number 2. And I think we'll make them a little bit closer together to make it a little bit more prominent. Okay, so if we go back to waypoint 1, we're going to set up on a racetrack pattern, much like we done last time. So advanced waypoint, perform orbit, racetrack, and we'll set it as default. However, this time what we want is to set a stop condition. So that means why it would stop orbiting. So all I really use is duration. So we'll leave it set as 15 minutes. So in 15 minutes after it starts to orbit, it will then stop orbiting and it will carry on as waypoints. So at that point, what we can now do is we can go to the last waypoint, waypoint 2, and we can create an additional waypoint. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to set it up to land at Kutaisi. So waypoint 3, instead of using a landing, we're going to use the land, whatever that tends to be. However, it stands for landing, rearm, refuel. So what we're going to do is we're going to select that, and now you see on the right hand side there's a time. We're going to set that to 5 minutes just for the speed of this video. So basically all that is the time that the aircraft will stay static on the ground before taking off again. We're going to set it at 5 minutes, and then all we're going to do now is we're just going to copy the waypoints. We're going to carry on with the waypoints. As you can see, we can create more waypoints after landing, rearm, refuel. Normally if we have it set to landing, that will be the final waypoint. However, this one's going to take off again. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy it, and we're going to set the racetrack up again. So set it back to 1, and we're going to set the altitude back to 18,000. Leave the speed again, we're not too worried about that, and we're going to have waypoint 2 the same. Then we're going to go back to waypoint 1, much like, or waypoint 4 is this time, sorry. And we're going to go advanced options, add task, orbit, and racetrack once again. However, this time, no, I think we will. We'll create another stop condition, another duration, 15 minutes, and then we'll just add one more waypoint, the actual landing. So this time, as you can see, we can't do much else. It's just a landing waypoint and it'll just park itself. And it is as simple as that. So if we now go into the game, what you'll see is the aircraft will start on its racetrack. 15 minutes after, it will then stop its racetrack pattern, and it will go into land. It will spend 5 minutes on the ground, whatever I've set, and then it will take off again and carry on. And basically, as long as you create enough waypoints, it will just keep doing it indefinitely. Obviously it goes down to how many waypoints you've created, but obviously I've only used 15 minutes of the duration for it to be in the air. So when I made this on the RAF Air UK server, I've set each individual tanker up so they'll do approximately between 2 and 2.5 hours of racetrack before they head back to rearm, refuel. The only real benefit to this is it just makes things look a little bit more realistic if you've got a tanker that then heads back to base, lands, simulates obviously quick style, getting more fuel on board, then takes off again, instead of having a tanker that's always in the air. It's just respawns in the air, which is the other way of putting a tanker in the air all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the time frame just to make this nice and quick. And as you can see, he's currently 18,000 feet, nice and steady, and he's in his racetrack. So we'll see him turn around in a minute and carry on with his pattern up until the point where we elapse 15 minutes from the time he started. At that point, he's going to go land at Kutaisi. He'll then taxi, park, the crew will magically get out, and he'll sit there for 5 minutes on the ground, simulating him getting more fuel on the aircraft. From there, he'll then just start his engines again and take off, and he'll go back to his racetrack. So as you can see, he's in his racetrack at the moment, so he's still at 18,000, so we know he's not actually coming into land or anything, so he's actually still on that waypoint. So we'll speed it up a little smidge more, just because we don't want this to be a 30-minute video of just watching a tanker go around in circles. So now he's still on the racetrack, still at 18,000, however, coming up to the time now where he's going to start to think about heading in. And at that point, we'll know that because he'll pretty much make a nosedive. Here we go. So now he's going down, so he's going towards his landing waypoint, and he's almost doing a vomit comment type. Whether he's coming into land now at Kutaisi, you know, sorts his life out a little bit. The wonders of AI. What can we say? But here we go. He's actually going to land this time, we hope. He just wanted to make the video last longer, I'm sure. Okay, so he's coming into land. Touchdown. Okay, obviously this is sped up, you know, a lot. He's going to taxi to parking. The only limitation of this, the only little bit of sort of unrealism is we haven't got any sort of pushback tugs or anything in DCS. Therefore, when he starts his engine again, he's going to magically start reversing and spin himself around pretty much 180 on the spot, depending on where he's parked, whether that's what he needs to do. Obviously, it's, you know, a little bit more far-fetched. However, we've still now got a tanker that can land, rearm, refuel, and take off. So it's a little bit nicer in the same sense. And you can do this with any aircraft. So you can have it with fighter aircraft. You can have them RTB on there, you know, out of fuel, out of weapons. Set the waypoint, land and rearm, refuel, and go back up. And you can do the exact same. As you see, he's currently doing a bit strange bit of reversing, spun round, and now he's taxiing back to the runway. He'll take off and he'll go back into that orbit. And up he goes. So now he'll climb to 18,000 feet, head for his first, or his next waypoint, and then he'll establish another racetrack. You can see he's going up through 5,000 foot. And he'll do that all the way up to 18, and he'll just establish his racetrack again. And like I said, however many waypoints you've got, how many times you set rearm refuel is how many times you'll do it. So it goes down to how many times you want to set the waypoints up for it, really. The mission that's on the RAF Air UK server will run for 3 days on its own. The tankers will keep doing this for 3 days just because it's a good couple of hours in between the spacings as opposed to 10 minutes, 15 minutes like we've done here. So now he's spinning back around, he's back at 18,000, he's back on his racetrack. So, really simple guys, that is how we create a tanker to sort of semi-realistically land and rearm, refuel back at a friendly airfield. I hope that's been helpful for anyone who wants to add another level into their tankers. And once again, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and we'll do more in the future. Thank you very much, and stay safe.